Welcome to the darkness.
Give us 1 second, guys.
First. Technical difficulties.
Brian, it's your fault.
Lots of hearts. Love it. Love the brand. Love the logo. Laughy face. Heart face. Or heart face.
There it is. Brian, I blame you.
I do too. I don't even know what it is.
Brian, that was your fault. Anyway, welcome to Titan Talk. Hey, guys, thanks for joining us today. Past our technical difficulties, we appreciate your patience. Brian, I still blame you. Today you have myself, Captain Coop, and we have our wonderful, as always, our talent,
Yes.
Mr. Major McFarland. Yay.
Hello. Hello, hello. Happy to be here.
So today we're talking a little bit, we wanted to talk about boredom busting. So we all experience this at every job we've ever been to, every career we've worked, everywhere, even in our personal lives, boredom. Boredom is the enemy of everything productive thinking. And it will absolutely make your life and your day miserable when you're bored, because you just sit there and you stare and you think off into space and you're not paying attention, you're not being productive. And so we wanted to talk a little bit about that and get some advice and maybe some techniques to combat that, to keep yourself squared away and paying attention, and try and make your life as easy as possible while you're on shift, whether it be with us or within a company, preferably with us. Just saying. But boredom is a killer of your day, just because you'll sit there and waste time away, bored out of your mind, and you're not doing anything, and it puts yourself and others at risk.
Yeah. It is a pretty big piece of security, law enforcement. A lot of downtime, so a lot of babysitting doors and areas. And so I think the biggest thing to take away from it is to remain alert. That helps you fight the boredom. It's like baseball. You know, you're always constantly running through, if the ball comes your way, you know, where you're going to go. You know, if there's runners on base, if there's bases loaded, nobody on base, how many outs. So you're constantly wanting to think about what you need to be doing to stay safe and keep the people safe that you're with. A lot of our retail stores, you know, you're up by the front, so greeting people, engaging, making eye contact, talking to people is a good way to kind of combat that. Just sit there, stare at the wall, watch the paint dry feeling. But a lot of other places that we're at, you don't really have time to be bored. Here at the office, you really don't. We're always going 100 miles an hour. I met with some fleet management people from outside our company early this week, and I brought them in, introduced them to the crew here.
Is that who that was?
Yeah.
Okay.
Showed them our fleet. We're growing in vehicles. Our company's expanding, so we are we're growing out of our ability to manage the fleet in-house. We need kind of the telematics and GPS systems and basically just systems in place for that's been designed by people that professionally manage fleets. Mm-hmm. And so we're headed that direction. But anyway, that's off topic. They were here, and they kind of got to see behind the curtain of, we got not interrupted, but I was called away from our meeting a few different times just for different things that were going on. And they had to kind of redo their intro a few different times because people were coming and going from the meeting, and it was just it was nonstop. And one of the guys, they're real nice guys. One of the guys was like, "Man, you guys, this place is grooving. They're just always moving." And he goes, and he's a salesman, so he's like, all the more reason, for fleet management, so you guys can focus on expanding. And no, they're real good guys, and I think we're gonna partner with them and use their software and stuff. But it's depends on where you're at. We've got some sites that are extremely dangerous areas, so you're never going to be bored. Yeah.
Always moving, paying attention.
But there are those entry levels, those of you that are just getting into this industry, some tips and practices. Again, it's just remain vigilant. Pay attention to what you're doing. It's dangerous if you're not. In today's day and age, anybody wearing a uniform, security, military, law enforcement, there's a target on your back. So you want to constantly be paying attention to what's going on. Outside of work, some mental Stimulators. I recently, this is kind of my nerd moment, have tried to get back into like playing video games to kind of like stimulate my mind, but also take my mind off of work and other things. Part of what we do is, we're available for phone calls and questions 24/7 as supervisors here at Titan, and our team takes advantage of that, and that's a good thing. So it's kind of hard to unplug from work every once in a while when you've had a long day, and I'm trying to get better at it. I did some modeling, not physically, I wish, but the little toy, not toy, but the little airplanes, just stuff to kind of stimulate your mind and take your mind off things. And if you practice that at home, that kind of gives you some mental capacity to focus when you're at work. Because if you're constantly going, that battery life runs low mentally, and that can cause you to kind of zone out and have that burnout feeling. Burnout and boredom can kind of go hand in hand sometimes, and so make sure that you're constantly stimulating yourself make sure instead of constantly stimulating yourself, you're taking some time to take a break from things. And so on your off time, make sure that people say reading, puzzles, things that kind of keep the gears turning, but you can kind of take a break from things. Physical activity is good. Those endorphins. I'm calling the kettle black here a little bit because I don't work out as much as I used to. Aside from just like chores out in the yard and stuff, but that endorphin rush you get after physical activity is good for you. It stimulates,
When I was on patrol, and one of the things you run into on patrol is as you're going from site to site and site to site, if you're not used to the overnights, for a little bit there, I wasn't, even though I'm used to working overnights and things like that, sometimes you get a little tired.
Yeah.
And so I used to use a trade secret one of the other guys told me a long time ago, which was stop off somewhere and just do an extra lap.
Yeah.
And so after I'd get done with the patrol at one of my
coffee from 400 kids.
Yeah.
Coffee.
We'd stop off at an extra one, and I do
coffee.
like 2 or 3 extra laps around the property just to
Yeah.
kind of get that extra motion in, because that absolutely helps out a whole lot.
Sure. Yeah, I'm 400 kittens. That's a good point. Caffeine works. I was a big caffeine guy when I was on patrol. It really didn't have the same effect on me as it does most people, where it gives them energy and stuff. It just makes me kind of like shaky. So,
Well, it's the thing is, depending on how much you drink, like if you drink a ton of coffee or a ton of energy drinks or whatever the case is,
your body gets used to it.
And so it's going to take that amount plus more to give you that same buzz, to give you that caffeine kick.
Yep.
But there's something to say about using caffeine, even in coffee or however you want to use it. There's something to say with eventually it becomes ineffective in keeping you and helping you stay awake.
Yep.
But it also, there's a crash at the end of it. Even with there's tea and coffee and all this extra stuff, there's always a crash.
What goes up must come down.
Yep.
So, but yeah, I mean, again, I can't stress it enough. The biggest thing is for your safety, and just you're there to do a job. The job is to protect, put our clients at ease with, whether we're sitting there babysitting property or we're there because someone threatened somebody. You really shouldn't be fighting boredom if you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. But routines are really good to combat that. I'm a big routine guy. I've got a routine for pretty much every little thing I do here. For the most part, it helps keep me on track. It helps keep me organized. So when you're getting ready for work, it's always good to have a good routine, especially when you're carrying a lot of equipment like we do. Mm-hmm. You show up and you're like, man, I feel a little light today, and your baton's not with you or your cuffs aren't with you. And so those routines and checks and balances, and we've talked about this in other podcasts too, or other episodes, but those are important to develop. So, but yeah, I don't know. What's up, Dylan? How's it going, buddy? Other than that, I mean, that's the biggest thing is beware your surroundings, stay vigilant, do your job. That's what you're here to do. And clock in, and then at the end of your shift, hopefully everybody gets to go home safe, and you clock out and you go home and get ready to do it again.
Yep. The big thing with boredom that you got to remember when it comes to this is finding the little things that you can do throughout the day when you don't have that interaction that keep you moving, keep the blood flowing, and keeps kind of everything up, moving around, keeps you awake. Sometimes it's as simple as when you're walking your properties or whatever it is, you're counting the doors or you're double checking the vehicles, and you're like, I know that there's 25 this time, and as I'm going to make my next round, I'm going to recount them, and hey, there's 24, somebody left, or whatever the case is. The little things like that you can do that keep your mind active, because that's a big one too, is keeping that activity going. will keep you awake and keep you alert to what's going on. So little secrets like that are little things that you can do that keep your brain active, that keep you in motion. Those are the big ones. And there's so many things that you can do that keep your brain active.
Yeah. One of a key point is like technology or applications. I know set reminders. So like at certain times, and this it's dependent upon where you're at. So certain posts you're confined to a specific spot, but at any job you get break time, lunchtime, get up, move around, get your blood flowing. That's a good thing you can do for technology, is using technology is every so often. And I think a lot of the smartwatches do it. Mine's kind of a knockoff, so it doesn't. But they'll say, get up, you've been sitting too long, or move around. And so take advantage of those tools to help keep you
Mine does
honest.
it every hour.
Yeah, that would annoy me. But
I don't even notice it anymore.
But yeah, again, those routines, checks and balances.
But it also helps that, like you were saying, we're so busy, we're running around. I'm moving every hour anyway.
Yeah.
So I'm getting up, going to someone's desk, or moving around, going to a different office to check something.
Oh, yeah.
So
I don't sit
it doesn't
still.
really
Yeah.
doesn't ever really go off on its own. So there are times when I'm scheduling, it'll go off, and I'm like,
Right.
oh, I got to get up, and move.
Yep.
But for a majority of the time, I'm moving so much that it doesn't ever go off.
Yep.
But I'd say, really, other than that, it's just remembering the little, those little little trade secrets, I guess, to keep yourself active. That will absolutely help, keep the boredom away. When it comes to boredom, the big thing you got to remember is the more bored you are, the less safe you are, at least in our industry, because you're not paying attention. You're not giving the client what they're looking for. You're putting yourself in jeopardy. When you're bored, you want to play on your phone. You want to go do this. You want to go do that. And it's not what you should be doing. And it puts yourself, the biggest thing is it puts you at risk. And we want to keep away from that because we want everybody to go home in the same condition they came in. And
Yes.
so fighting that boredom, keeping your mind active, greeting customers, counting the cars, or doing extra patrols. Those are all things that will help keep you active, keeps the clients happy, keeps you from being bored, and keeps you from drifting off, for lack of a better way of saying
Yep.
it. And those are all the best things that we can we can hope for. And so maintaining those little things just makes your life, it makes the day go by. I mean, really does.
Of course, yeah. Like I said, with the retail stuff, if you're engaged with customers and patrons, I was in the retail space for a little bit. I wasn't, it wasn't for me. I like to be moving site to site, checking on stuff. So, when I was a road supervisor, that was really my sweet spot as far as, what I wanted to do and enjoyment of it. But you're going to have to do with what you're dealt with. And the best thing to do is just engage those people and talk to them. And it's going to make the client feel a lot better too, because you're sitting there paying attention. And also, like you said, from a safety thing, if you're paying attention and somebody comes in there that has bad intentions and they see that you're paying attention, see that your surroundings, they're going to be like, I'm not going to try this guy. Let's move on to the next one.
He's actually being observant.
Yep.
There's really, when it comes to the boredom, let me ask you this, as those of you watching, what are some tips that you've found through your experience that you guys use to fight boredom? Because it's not just our experience, but it's your guys' as well. So give us some of the tips that you guys have learned throughout your time, or things that you've learned from other jobs that will help keep you from being bored. Charles, thanks for joining us. Good to see you. Going well. Enjoying a wonderful Friday.
Yeah, holiday weekend, big holiday. Remember, Memorial Day is more than just beers and burgers. It's for everybody that sacrificed so we could do things like this and live in a free society. So it's probably one of my favorite holidays because the guys that came here before us and paid the ultimate sacrifice do not get enough recognition, in my opinion. So we will be taking it easy at my house this weekend. A lot of people like to go out and party. We treat it a little differently. So it's kind of the kickoff of summer, but at the same time, it's understanding what people had to do so we could be here. Just like you guys working hard out in the field so we can keep this podcast going. So.
Absolutely.
And I'm a little out of it today. I have a really bad migraine, so I apologize if I'm not
That's
as
why I'm
energetic.
keep making the camera and keep making him talk, trying to make him work through it.
My head's killing me, so I do apologize. I'm not as energetic as normal, but yeah. So that pretty much covers.
As I said,
a
it
lot
really
of
covers all of the
boredom
boredom stuff. The big thing to remember on boredom, guys, is find the little things, work those to the best of your ability, and if you have any tips and trips for each other, put them in the comments. That's what we want. 10 out of 10 podcast. Appreciate that.
I feel like there's some sarcasm.
But let's see. Notice little things that might help. That might mad at others. That's another good one right there. Noticing the little things that someone else might notice. You know, those little details like that. And then you've got yourself a report to file, and that's one extra brain activity that keeps you going. So things like that are amazing for that. When you notice the little things, we used to do another thing which was light audits on patrol for the longest time. And that's another one. You sit there as you go through the property and you're checking the lights. So if you've got a property that you work at closing time, and you notice there's lights out in the parking lot, or you notice there's lights out near the front door, something that you know that would make the clientele, the guests, and everybody else feel a little bit safer, making a report on that, because one, it keeps you active, two, it shows that we're paying attention to the property, and it makes the client happy. So those are the little things like that. But other than that, I mean, it's just the little tips and trips like that.
That's kind of cool, Heather. She basically picks somebody and tries to memorize what they're wearing and keeps track of it when they're leaving.
There you go.
That's good.
Little brain activity. Yeah. I saw a what was it? It was a TED Talk, I think it was, and the guy was saying how you can manipulate somebody, and he changed shirts in the middle of like the show, and nobody noticed.
Oh yeah,
because he was moving their attention. It was really cool because he's like, "Did anything change between when we started talking, or when I started talking, and now?"
Yeah,
and everybody's like, "No."
Those TED Talks are pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he changed his shirt. But yeah, no, I mean, exactly that. Pick out somebody that you want to memorize detail about them, and then that gives you a little brain teaser. Pick out someone else later on after that person leaves or whatever. And that gives you, again, another little thing to keep your brain active. And that's a fantastic idea there.
Yes.
There you go. Even if the contracts don't require DARs, which is a daily activity report.
Who is that? Do you know who that is?
No.
Oh.
Keep a log of what you're doing, and it never hurts. That's another fantastic one, because then same thing, checks and balances. So fantastic ideas right there. Tweet. Okay. I got it. Gotcha. I know who you are now.
Now we know your identity. You're exposed.
So other than that, guys, that's really it. We'll hop into the weather, get you guys set for the weekend, and we'll kind of go from there.
Yeah, what is it supposed to do this weekend?
So what we're looking at this weekend is we are looking at, let's go, 83 degrees for the day. Not too bad. Saturday, we're looking at 82 degrees, mostly sunny. Sunday is 80 with storms in the morning. Monday is 81 and sunny. It's going to be a nice little Memorial Day.
Nice.
Tuesday is 80 degrees and sunny. Wednesday, 79 and partly cloudy. Thursday is 80, partly cloudy. Friday and Saturday, we're looking at 79 and 80 with some scattered showers, and it's supposed to rain all day Sunday.
Good deal.
So this weekend, not too bad. A little bit of rain in the morning on Sunday, but it's looking like it's going to be a pretty decent Memorial Day. So that's fantastic.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
For those of you interested that work for Titan and you guys are watching this, thank you guys so much. If you are interested in overtime, we do have some stuff available, so please do not hesitate to reach out.
You get that big
event coming up. Yeah,
so
that's this weekend.
10%.
So if you guys are interested in that, just give us a holler. Lieutenant line is active, so we'll help you out with that, let you know what it is. But other than that, weather won't be the same by tomorrow.
That's a good point.
That's fair. It's very fair. I'd say other than that, guys, we're going to let you guys go. He's got an appointment he's got to get to, so we were knew this was going to be a little bit of a short one. Thank you guys so much for everything. We appreciate it. We wouldn't be able to do this without you guys, so thank you so much. Everything you do in the field allows us to continue to make ourselves look stupid on the internet. So
pretty much. We're pretty good at it. I think we need to do a hot sauce one soon.
I agree.
Spice it up.
We could get
somebody sent us a picture. It was Lavi.
Yeah, he's got some new ones that are kosher.
We'll get Lavi back on here.
Absolutely. So we'll plan on that. We'll plan on getting a new one.
The bearded Lavi.
With summer coming up, we'll plan on getting a new hot sauce challenge going out. See what we can do and get you guys some more suffering from us with hot sauce. So
yes.
We appreciate it, guys. Again, thank you so much. We will catch you guys on the next one. Stay safe.